Hey everyone, Retro Leo here with another comic book review. This time I'm reviewing Power Rangers Ranger Slayer #1, written by Ryan Parrott. This is the follow-up to the Free Comic Book Day Power Ranger Slayer, and I really enjoyed this book, and we're just going to get into it. So, as the book starts, Kimberly wakes up in a field back in her dimension, Lord Draken's conquered dimension, and she runs into some of Lord Draken's Ranger goons, and they're picking on some people. And so Kimberly is watching them as they are attacked by what I'm going to call as Power Ranger zombies, and they look really cool. This Red Ranger attacks. Kimberly jumps in and saves them. Saves the Draken people, and just takes care of the zombies. And the people ask what she can do, what they can do for her. They thought she was lost, and asked if they found Draken, and she said she did not. But she said she wanted them to leave those people away. So we then cut to Draken's fortress, where Finster is talking to someone while he's working on a new machine, and it turns out to be Scorpina. And the gentleman that was in the woods turns up and tells her that the Ranger Slayer has returned. And they say, well, that's great, because we can maybe use that to our advantage to bring my newest creation to life. But the question is, whose side does she belong to now? Where's her allegiance lie? So Kimberly goes to the Mastodon safe house, and she meets Trini, Zach, and Aisha and Bulk, and she tells them that she knows that she did some terrible things, but she was under Lord Draken's command, and she was hypnotized and under his control, and that she will give them her power coin to prove she's not evil anymore. And Trini's at first is like, if we get her power coin, then we can make our own sentries, which is what Draken used the coins to turn all his people into Rangers. And they don't trust her, but then Bulk talks up and takes up for her. And then they tell Kim about, they decide, okay, we'll trust her, because Bulk seems to trust her, so we'll give her a shot. So Kim asks them about the Power Ranger zombies, and Zach tells her that they've been coming for the last few months, and they attack the Coinless and Draken's army. And the source is coming from the command center, but nobody can get in the command center. So Kimberly says, I think I have a plan. So they go at the command center, and it's guarded by the Power Ranger zombies and turrets. I believe it says somewhere in here, turrets also. And Trini looks at Zach as they're waiting on the command to go, and she tells Zach, look, let me just go in here. If something happens to me, then you can carry on the fight. And Zach looks at her and says, I've buried enough of my friends, Trini, and I'm not going to lose you too. So Kimberly calls on the Grave Zord, and they take care of the guards. So Trini and Zach get in the command center, and there's a throne with Rita's staff, and Trini runs for the staff, and right before she gets it, a green light goes around and lifts it up, and there is a dead Rita. And they're all like, how is this possible? And she's like, well, why don't you ask Trini? And Trini's like, well, you promised you wouldn't hurt my friends. And so she goes, well, basically, I'm not listening to you anymore, but you know, a promise is a promise, as she lets Zach go. And while outside, Bulk and Kimberly are in the Grave Zord, and Rita summons Godar from the dead, and the Grave Zord is destroyed, And Rita tells them, now that Draken is gone, she's going to take over. So we go back to the Mastodon Coinless base, and they start talking to Trini and asking her what she did. And she told them that Zordon told her that there was good in Rita. So she thought that since Draken killed her, if she brought her back, she would help them. And then they tell the story of after Draken left, the rise of power from like Zed and Scorpina, all of them came up trying to take over. And Trini says at first Rita helped them, but by keeping the Coinless location off Draken's radar, and but now that Draken's gone, she's decided to go back on everything. So Kimberly's laughing, saying, "My, what would Zordon think if he saw us three arguing like this?" And then she goes, "And then I realized maybe he still is." And they say, "We have a plan, but we would need a massive army to make it work, basically." And Zack says, "I have a plan, but you're not going to like it. You're really not going to like it." So we go to the next page, and they are at Draken's Tower, and Kimberly's morphed into a Ranger Slayer outfit, and she tells the sentries that she wants to see Scorpina if they don't want to lose their head. So Kimberly walks Trini and Zack and Bulk into Scorpina's throne room and tells her that she's been lost in time, and Scorpina sees right through this and says, "You're not evil anymore. You're out of his control." And so they immediately want to kill Kimberly. Scorpina tells her men to execute her, but the sentries don't do anything because they know that Kimberly was Draken's second in command. So Kimberly tells Scorpina, instead of fighting, how about we help each other and make a plan instead. So Rita is walking through the street and she sees a statue of herself. She says, "Do I really look like that?" And she says, "Godar, destroy it." And Godar destroys it. And she has her army of the dead basically behind her, and she tells them to attack. And then on the other side we have Kimberly and all the Draken's army, and they all start attacking. And in this fight we get some reunions. I believe that it turns out the guy at the beginning of the book was Adam. This guy right here talking to Aisha is Adam. Then we get Bulk reunited with Skull. And so the battle's going on. And then Scorpina tells Trini, just because we're fighting together now doesn't mean that we're at a truce, that after all this is over, she will have her executed. So Rita's getting closer, and Kimberly calls in to Finster saying, "Hey, Godar's almost here, Finster. Where's this with this great weapon that you have?" And he says, "It's on the way." And Kimberly's like, "Well, I hope it gets here soon." And then this giant Megazord with Lord Zed's head and the Dragon Zord's chest plate comes out and starts fighting Godar and beats him. So Rita shows up and shoots at Scorpina, but Trini jumps in the way and takes the blast. And so Scorpina charges her, and Rita just blasts her down. And so while Rita's distracted, Trini sneaks up from behind and takes a spear and breaks Rita's staff, which destroys her and sends her back to being dead. So from there they say, "Well, it looks like we won a big battle for once." So we go back to Draken's Tower, and Scorpina says, "Now I'm going to..." Her and Zack and Trini are basically arguing, and she's saying, "I have Draken's arm," and they're like, "They're not their people. that she says they are loyal to Draken, not the Coinless. And Trini says, this is pointless. Let's get out of here before things get violent. And then Scorpina says, you try to walk out of here and I'll hunt you down personally. And then Bulk says, well, why not just use the Ranger Slayer, because all the sentries know who she is. And Kimberly's like, no, I don't want this. But then Finster tells Scorpina basically, well, let's do this and then we can come up with a plan. So Kimberly takes over as Queen of Draken's universe, basically, and it says the end at the bottom, and she says this is a new beginning. So, and she's got Trini and Scorpina by her side, and the giant Lord Zed Dragonzord hybrid Megazord, and that's where it ends. I'm hoping this goes on. I'm not sure if this is a one-issue series, because I mean it just wrapped up the entire story. I hope it keeps going on, because I really enjoyed this. I'm a big Power Ranger fan, and if you are too, I would really recommend you pick this up and read it. So until next time, guys, I'm out.